Hi, my name is Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GetUpNGetFit Wellness Coaching Concierge. I'm also a C-suite advisor and investor, and you're listening to How May I Serve You, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while learning how to better serve our executive clientele by asking them, How may I serve you? And today's show is sponsored by Get Up and Get Fit. Get Up and Get Fit will be providing students with textbooks and supplies in Cambodia in honor of our guests today, as well as our philanthropic mission to impact at least 50,000 people per year. And today we have a special guest, and our special guest is Regina Herbert. Regina, how you doing today?
I'm doing as well as I can given the circumstance of my broken
Yes,
wrist,
yes,
but I'm doing great being on your show. Thank you so much for having me, Thomas. How are you doing?
of course. I'm doing well. I'm doing well, and thanks for coming
Good.
despite your unfortunate injury.
Yeah.
You are a trooper despite your injury. You're in a sling right now, but you decided to come through regardless. I really appreciate your effort, Regina.
That is so cool that you're saying that because my VA actually said the same when I said I'm doing my shows this week. She said, "You're a trooper." Exactly the same words. We're aligned.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So Regina, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about you. So Regina Herbert is a transformational leadership coach, inspirational speaker, and author of Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine. In her coaching framework, Powerful Leadership Transformation (PLT) at Transform Your Performance, she helps women increase their income, influence, and impact. Her eclectic experience on 5 continents includes management positions at BCG and ownership of businesses in Argentina, Brazil, and US. So you are a world traveler. It sounds like you
I
have made some
love,
great impact.
yeah. Yeah, so I love traveling. I love moving around. Right now, I'm also not in my usual environment. I've been nomading around. I'm a passionate nomad, so you could say. So I've been nomading around pretty much in the last few weeks. I've done, I think, 7 states now in about, since November 1st. And I've also traveled quite a bit in Africa in the last few years, so which wasn't included in my bio, but I've lived on several continents. Yeah. So I'd be happy to expand a little bit more on that if you're interested.
I am indeed. So yeah, so this is the perfect time to ask you to share a little bit more about yourself. You mentioned you have traveled throughout the various continents. So share with us, share your experience with us.
Yes, so my very eclectic and adventurous experience on 5 continents so far started in Germany. And it took me first from Germany to Spain and Portugal. So in Spain, I was going to stay probably a year or so, I thought in the beginning. I ended up staying 7 years in Spain. And that was still with
Wow.
the Boston Consulting Group. And I helped the Boston Consulting Group also open up offices in Portugal, Lisbon, and in Brazil, Sao Paulo. And, the Portugal office, of course, I did that out of Spain. But then later on, I spent 6 months in Sao Paulo and helped them open an office there and did a lot of European projects for a couple of years. Then I moved to Argentina for some time with a startup. It's similar to eBay, just a different, company, which is probably less known here, but it's well known there. It was called deremate.com and stayed with them. But then the Argentinian crisis hit and BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, hired me back for their San Francisco office. And from there, 3.5 years later, I decided to go on an adventure trip again. And I just left my job behind and moved to Argentina to open a bed and breakfast. And from 3.5 years later, I moved to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and eventually to
Wow.
New York City. So I've owned businesses in Argentina, in Brazil, and in the US. And as I said earlier, I've traveled quite a bit in African countries in the past few years, but that piece came a bit later, right? So I'm a passionate nomad. My adventurous lifestyle started in Germany in a tiny little village on a farm, and I was certainly the shyest kid in the entire village. But I inherited the adventurous spirit from my dad and some other relatives, as I found out later, and also have insatiable curiosity inside of me. It's actually my top leadership trait. And that had me
Yo,
explore the world, as soon as my high
that's awesome
school
right there.
studies were done. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. A lot of folks don't give themselves the chance to venture outside of their comfort zone, right? They tend to stay within their bubble, and
Mm,
without venturing out, it's hard for you to experience culture. It's hard for you to
mhm.
um learn new things and learn about more people, right? So, would you say your experience with traveling abroad and interacting with various culture has made you the person you are today?
Absolutely. When people say, "Where are you from?" I don't really know what to say. Yes, I have strong roots in Germany. My entire family is there. And, but also, when you move to different countries, you don't only learn about the cultures and enjoy, the different elements of it, such as for me specifically would be dance and music, especially
Mm.
in the Latin and in the African countries. But also, you open up your mind and you learn how to understand others better. And that's helped me in my coaching business to really, get people. I often hear that when I talk to prospects, even for the first time on a call, they say, "Oh, you really get me," or "How did you know this?" I also work very intuitively, but that's a different topic. So then they say, "Oh, yeah." And then the other day I had somebody sign up exactly for that reason. Actually, she said she looked at my profile and she saw that I had a multicultural background, and she was drawn to that. Yes, because hers is also
Yeah,
international. Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense, right? You're able to connect with more more people because you've been there, you've been
Hmm.
across, you've been connected with other cultures. So it's
Hmm.
easier to connect with a person that have been where you've been before. You're able to that similarity right there helps to ignite that bond. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I want you to tell us, how did you get into coaching, from traveling from one
Mhm.
continent to the next to becoming a coach? Like what triggered you towards getting to going towards that direction of coaching?
Mhm. Well, when I moved from Brazil to New York in 2012, I looked at all my eclectic experience at BCG and other companies, some startups, and as a business owner in Argentina and Brazil, and I was trying to figure out how to put it all together into my next chapter and into something meaningful that could make a difference. Yes. So I've always wanted to create positive experience for humans, also with my previous businesses, just in different ways, and also as a manager at BCG, and in all these different ways. And human design, I'm a manifester, and that also
Hmm.
means that I'm an initiator, and I'm a natural, you could say a natural coach, mentor, or teacher. That's what these profiles are usually drawn towards, to inspire people. Yes, and I just actually got an email from a German lady on my mailing list, and she said, "Wow, I always love opening your emails because it fascinates me how inspiring you are and how much inspiration you pick up, and these things." So I want to pass what I pick up, because we don't really invent things, right? We know that we literally channel our ideas and our inspiration. So whatever I can pick up from the collective conscious and unconscious, and everywhere that might be useful from the collective consciousness, I should say, that might be useful for not just my clients but also humanity as a whole, I try to pass that on, right? So I was really coming at the time, though, if you'd asked me about this specific trigger, from like a very painful experience with a business partner in Brazil, a fraudulent business partner. And that was also a huge learning experience for me, that I believed, could help others as well. because I had now figured out how to step from a victim, from victimhood and from a victim mindset into a self-empowering mindset, and really from even a place of depression at the time, because it was very hard to clean it all up. The bureaucracy was, the paperwork and all of that was tremendous. And a lot of people say in Brazil, it's harder to close a business than to open a business. So there's a lot of work, a lot of corruption involved, and attempts. I never have given in to corruption, and that has happened to me, before too, but I just never gave in to it. It also taught me resilience. It taught me integrity, I think. And all of this really together, that started to make sense in a new offering that I could offer to the world. I also want to mention I did a lot of holistic studies, so holistic healing studies and mindset studies and energy studies, and all of that is also flowing into my work, sometimes more directly, more indirectly, but the knowledge for sure. And that's how I came up with my current business, Transform Your Performance, and my signature coaching framework, Powerful Leadership Transformation. And in most recent years, I've mostly worked with mid-tier women employees, although I've also worked with entrepreneurs in the past and some men, but mostly now with mid-tier women employees, a lot of who are in financial services and tech. And I help them reach their next career goal by developing this, this self-empowering mindset and heart set, by the way. And
Got it.
and also, owning their value and their unique brilliance, and showing up with a compelling presence and all of that good stuff.
Okay. So how would you describe your coaching style, right? Because you mentioned you come from a place of more of a holistic and empowerment. So how would you describe your style? If it was to describe your style by giving it like a title, how would you describe your coaching style?
Yeah, so I call it transformational leadership coaching. That means multiple things. It is transformational. So while we work on specific situations, the transformation stays with my clients. They take it with them and they can reapply it. And, it stays with them for the rest of their lives, right? And the leadership isn't just about leading others. It's about self-leadership as well. And that's where the self-empowerment comes in. I like to say we cannot empower others. We can only empower ourselves. And I help them, I guide them to do that, basically. And as you said, you're right, it's a very holistic approach, and it is 100% customized to my clients. So, I put all of this knowledge that I had acquired and experience into this framework, which I call Powerful Leadership Transformation, and it has 4 pillars. And the first pillar is a self-empowering mindset and heart set. The second is distinctive uniqueness. The third is a body and energy conscious presence. And the fourth is a result of the previous 3, which is inspired and effective action. So all of these also have to do always with energy. This is why I want to actually also, develop more work now that is more energy centered, because I believe that we talk too little about energy in the professional arena. And that's actually what keeps us smaller than we really are. It's a lot about mindset, but it's also about the energy, and the energy influences the mindset and vice versa and whatnot. So it's hard to put that into one sentence, right? But it's very complex, and I want to just increase my focus on this.
So when you say energy, what do you mean by energy? Are you referring to like how a person feel, or are you talking about something along the line of mindset when you mention energy? I'm trying to get a better understanding what you mean by energy.
Right. So all we are is energy, right? I just actually sent out an email last Friday to my mailing list, and I'd be happy to also share that after this show with you, because it explains a little bit more. We have limited time today, but the energy is all we are. So we can, it always depends a little bit on how we define energy. We say we are high energy or low energy. Well, it's really that is in fact a lot related to our mindset, because we can influence our energy level by our thoughts, right? It's all related. Everything interacts in our body, our mind, our spirituality, our emotions. It's all, we would try to separate it out to conceptualize, but it's all related. So, for example, your actions, how effective they are, will depend on the quality of the energy you put into them, right? Your mindset, in the end, results in vibration. What is vibration? It's an energetic frequency. Yes. And the same for your heart set. I talk a lot about heart set as well. It also has to do with finding your courage, with being able to listen to your intuition. But all of that, in the end, creates the energy that we also emanate, and the quality of that energy. And in my third pillar of the Powerful Leadership Transformation, I specifically talk about a body and energy conscious presence in business or in the rest of your life too, right? Because we can actually do simple exercises that can increase our perceived energy. Yeah, the way we are seen, that can make us more visible as speakers, as meeting participants in negotiations. It doesn't really matter. And I've put some of those into my book, Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine, but it also includes other tools as well. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's the combination of how you feel, and a lot more.
And a lot more. Yeah, it's a big topic.
All right.
Right.
So let's dive into storytelling time, right? I want you to
Mm-hmm.
give us a 2 to 3 minute summarized story of a time where you realize your coaching practice to transform one of your clients' life.
Yeah, so I can, of course, think of several examples, but one that stands out to me always is I worked with a client in financial services who
Mm-hmm.
completely upgraded her self-image, and she became more vocal about her career desires, her expectations. She asked for a promotion and she got it, right? Although she didn't really think she could even do that. She also negotiated her salary, although previously she was assuming that there was no room for that. And she literally had told me, when we started our coaching relationship together, she told me literally, we do not negotiate at our firm.
Oh wow.
But so I said, okay, how do you know that? Did you ask anybody? And then the next thing that she said, well, but I think the person that previously had my current job um, actually made more money. I said, why do you think that is? Right. So oftentimes we make those assumptions and they're not really true.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's really best about what she learned through our coaching, and really not just learned but integrated, is to talk about her potential and to believe in her potential and what
Mm-hmm.
she would accomplish in the future, rather than only about her past achievements. And that's what she
Got it.
now
Got
gets
it.
paid for, right? So who wants to get paid for your past, right? You want to get paid for the new challenge, the new position. So she actually negotiated a raise of $15,000 when she
That's
thought
a nice jump.
it was not negotiable,
Okay.
right? Because
Okay.
she positioned herself differently and her value and in a completely new light. And she learned how to stand out with her brilliance and all that good stuff that we talked about earlier.
Yes, indeed. It seems like you helped her to shift her mindset because she
Mm-hmm.
was in her own way, in a sense, right? She was in her
Yeah,
own way. She had
absolutely.
limited belief, and
Yeah,
oftentimes our limited belief stops us short of accomplishing more. You know, Fif- a
absolutely.
15,
Yeah.
a 15,000 bonus. That's a big jump right there.
Yeah, a
Like that's a
raise.
big jump.
And, it's cumulative. So now when you get a salary increase like that, it has an impact on if you get a bonus, an annual bonus, then that's usually a percentage, right?
Oh, so
Many
this is a
benefits are
raise.
percentages. Yeah, there was a raise. So many benefits are percentages, and it's cumulative over the years too. And, a lot of women, they believe that if they just work really hard and take on all the slack and all the extra work, they will get promoted. But that's not how it works, because productivity alone doesn't get you promoted. What gets you promoted is positive visibility and
I like that. Repeat
positioning
that.
yourself.
Repeat that one more time. All right.
Yeah.
So that was so powerful. I want you to repeat it one more time. Ooh, that was
Yeah.
powerful.
Productivity doesn't get you promoted. What gets you promoted is positive visibility. And of course,
Positive
positioning
visibility.
yourself correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and then it always helps to upgrade your negotiation skills. And I think in this case, this client upgraded her negotiation skills exponentially. There are certain tools for that. There are many. I also do conversational intelligence, so we bring in all these different types of contents, and I pull out of my toolbox whatever my client needs to help them increase their negotiation power and their meeting presence or whatever they need, right?
Awesome, awesome. That's great right there. It sounds like, you really have a lot in your arsenal.
Yes. Over the years, you learn more, you accumulate more. I also have learned a lot through my clients, of course, and their needs. And that's then when I try to, upgrade my preparedness to fill those needs and to really support them
Yes,
in the
indeed.
more appropriate way. Mhm.
That's awesome. So, are you currently working on any new projects that you can share with us, or do you have a new book or a new program that you could share with us right now?
I don't have a new book yet, but it's already in my mind. So yes, I have a new book idea, and I'm currently working on that idea. My other book is of course available on Amazon. It's Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine, and it has helped many of my clients and other people and myself to show up more powerfully for speaking, meetings, negotiations, with tools that help you prepare mentally, physically, and energetically for those situations or any challenging business situations, really. And um, and I'm working on a lot of new content for YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel with lots of free resources, but I'm working always on new content. And as I said earlier, also on the energy focus a little bit more again. It's all going to come together. I am working also on a new online product, but that's still a secret.
There you go. It's still behind the curtains.
Right. But now, also, even now, you can sign up for a free career accelerator mini course on my second website. My connection website is followregina.com. My main website is transformyourperformance.com, like my company name. But on followregina.com, you can sign up for that if you'd like, or just for fresh inspiration through my mailing list. There's a sign up link there as well. I think we lost Thomas. While we're waiting for him to hopefully come back, I will also share my other platforms that I'm on. I'm on LinkedIn as Regina Huber. I'm on YouTube, as I mentioned before, as Regina Huber, with lots of inspirational videos and training videos. And I invite you all to watch and subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Regina, you've been amazing. You have been amazing. You share with us your experience with traveling abroad. You share with us how you've transformed your client's life. And you are just an amazing person. Your energy, your smile, your your level of just being able to persevere, right? And I appreciate you. So
Thank you.
last but not least, I'd like to ask you, how may I serve you?
Well, keep doing what you're doing, Thomas, and expand your network even more. That will serve many people, including myself. So it's going to be wonderful, to reach as many people as possible. We both have an international network. I really love that. If I can be of any support in that sense, let me know. And you have done a lot with this conversation, which has been just really lovely. Keep serving your audience.
Awesome, awesome. And I definitely shall. So, Regina, once again, thank you for coming on. And I'd like to thank all of our listeners and viewers for lending us their ears and their eyeballs. And until I see you guys next time, continue to love each other, continue to work hard, and don't forget to invest in yourself. Much love. We're out.